Welcome back, Stampers. Let's jump into part 1B where we do the cover. And that's where you're going to need your craft text and you're going to need your chipboard. Let's see if I can find that in my pile that I just made. Is anyone like me? You start out really clean and then you end up with piles everywhere. Okay, so we're going to put some score tape on our 3 chipboard pieces right here, and don't be afraid to be generous. I'm actually going to use up another roll. You really want your album to hold together, so just mentally prepare yourself. You're going to use a lot of tape with this album. Once you get mentally prepared for that, then you won't be cringing when you get to the end of your album and realize you pretty much used an entire roll of score tape. So, but you know, when you're making a gift for someone, you want it to hold together well, and last throughout the years, right? Because this is for memory keeping. And just to put everything out there, and full disclosure, I did not come up with this idea as far as the book. I did think of the Project Life idea of being able to make the books sized for Project Life. I did think of that, although I'm sure someone else has thought of it as well, not just me. As far as how to assemble this book, I learned how to do this from Ginger, my sister scrapper. She makes some amazing stuff. I highly recommend that you check out her channel. And also the hinge that we'll make a little bit later, that I learned from Ginger, but she got that from Kathy Order King, which she is from Paper Phenomenon, and she is amazing. She is a master crafter, and both those women are just amazing. I really look up to them and just love their work, so I highly recommend that you check them both out. They have some great stuff on their channels. Alright, now that we're ready to go, we're going to stick this down in our craft text. Now my goal here when I'm sticking this down is I want about 1 inch on the top and the bottom, and when I'm done, about 1 inch on the sides as well. So this is basically going to go like this. And I like to start over here on the left. I like to get those 3 sides going, and if I have a little bit more on this side, then that works. You can get very, very precise with this and actually measure 1 inch in if you want. I, however, am not going to do that this time. I have done it before. Just depends on how precise you want to be. If I'm feeling my perfectionist self, I will do that, but I'm going to use my mat here, make sure I have 1 inch in. And I know I've cut this to be at least 1 inch, so I should be alright on the other side. That looks a little bit. I'm going to bring this up just a tiny bit. Okay. It's good to rub that. Sorry about the wiggling of the camera there. Now another little trick is I have some chipboard that I've put together. This is my shim, and what you want to do is you want to have about the space in between your front cover, back cover needs to be about the width of what 2 of these chipboards would be. Reason being is it gives your book space to fold. So I usually just use my shim here to help me out. So I'm going to peel this off my spine, just like this. Okay, so then I'm going to put this here, and I'm going to try to get this to line up so it's as even and as straight as possible. So give me a second here. I'm going to kind of hover over it. Okay, I'm just going to burn this on, and we'll repeat that process with this last one here. The fun thing with these books is really, once you get the basics down, you could make it any size that you want to make it. You don't have to use Project Life cards if you don't want to. You could just use DSP, the Designer Series paper, or keep it the same size, but because you know the size of this, you can cut your Designer Series paper down to fit your album. Okay. Alright, so you can see there's about an inch here and there's a little bit more here. So I'm going to get my paper cutter out, and just because I like to have things even, I'm going to put this about the 1 inch and just cut that off. So it's a little more even. That'll look a little nicer when we put that down. Okay, now that that's done, we're going to go ahead and finish covering this. So back to the tape. We're going to put tape all along here. You don't have to put it right to the edge, and you'll understand in a minute. We're going to be mitering our corners, so I don't need to go all the way to the edge. That'll save a little bit of tape. And got that side done. Get this side done like that. Okay, once that's done, we need to go on our chipboard, and I just go right across. That's exactly how Ginger does it, and it works well, so why mess with something that already works, right? As people say, if it's broke, don't try to fix it. We're gonna go across here. Okay, and then of course right here. Okay, now that that is done, we need to miter our corners, and this is where my shim comes in handy again. I will take my shim and put it as close as I can to a 90-degree angle. Now, if you really want to get technical, you can, there's a special tool you can buy out there, and I can't remember what the name of it is, but it works really well. But I'm just gonna do this because I don't have that nice little tool. Someday I will stop buying stamps long enough to buy tools. So actually, I do buy lots of tools and stamps. That's why I don't have money for anything else. So, all right, we're going to cut. We're going to cut our corners off here, just right where you had them. I probably could have saved a little more tape and not put it quite so to the edge, but we won't worry about that. Okay. That. So now we have something that looks like this. Okay. Another thing you can do is take your bone folder, crease that. Again, all this stuff is in Ginger's video. You can watch hers too. She explains things really, really well and does a great job. I'm going to fold try to get these to crease up just a little bit. I found with this craft text that the more you work it into the shape you want, the easier it is to fold it up. So you can see we got to get this over, so I'm just going to rub this. I apologize if this is wiggling the camera. Hopefully you're not trying to get motion sickness or something. Okay, we're going to take the first one off, just like this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start from the middle and work my way out. That seems to work better for me, so there isn't any puckers. I'm going to start in the middle, just run my fingers along and work my way out, just like that. Okay, I'm going to repeat that with this side. Again, you're going to go through the middle, pull it nice and snug, massage it, make it bend to your will. Okay, so now that we have both the top and the bottom done, I'm just going to run my bone folder along there, kind of flatten that out. So now there's a little trick to the sides here. We need to tuck these little corners in so they don't fold out weird, and you're just going to take the pointer of your bone folder and just kind of tuck them in. Just do the best you can. Sometimes I get it perfect, sometimes I don't, but I usually get it good enough, so that works for me. So again, those are tucked in, and now we can take this side again, work from the middle, then out. Okay, and sometimes if I need to, I'll push that down. And that looks pretty good. I'll just burnish this a little more. Okay, we're going to repeat that process with this side right here, just like that. And if you're worried, you can always fold it over before you unpeel your backing there and just kind of see, okay, is it going to look weird or is it going to lay the way I want? So just do that, push that down. All right, again, start with the middle and work your way out. Okay, you'll find that the bone folder is your friend. So now we have our cover. The next thing you're going to do is slowly bend these up, so I'm just going to run my bone folder up like this to get that creased, just like that. So now my book cover is finished. Alright, I will go ahead and stop there now that you know how to do the cover, and I will see you back with part 2. We're going to go ahead and make the spine and get the spine in here and get this in here, and then we'll start building pages. Alright, thank you for stopping by.